Hello, so obviously this is my first ever YouTube video. Just to preface this, I'm still really new to the idea of talking into a microphone, editing audio and visual elements, etc. I'm also just recording on my phone since I don't have a professional camera, so sorry for the audio and visual quality, but I just wanted to talk into the void a bit because it makes me feel more motivated and a little less insane than when I'm just talking to myself in the imaginary audience in my head. I'm also a beginner at journaling of any kind, so mind the drawing and artistic elements not being the best or most cohesive looking together. I say that as though I plan on drawing a bunch. Make no mistake, I am mostly going to just be taping and gluing stuff onto my pages, but if it looks ugly, I don't really want to hear about it because I know. This is a learning experience for both of us. And I know this has to be a common feeling, but I have always wanted to keep a journal for as long as I can remember, probably because I grew up on movies and books like Read It and Weep, Dork Diaries, Princess Diaries, and the cornerstone of pop culture that is Diary of a Wimpy Kid. It was just a totally diary-heavy childhood, and I've just always wanted to be that main character. But whenever I would commit to a diary, I would always forget a day or not have much to reflect on because I would just I don't really have an interesting life, and I would just give up on writing altogether because I was always internally criticizing myself as well. And when I would write, I would feel silly or not write my unfiltered thoughts, even when I'm by myself, because I would feel like I had an audience reading what I was saying. So I would kind of censor myself and think I'm totally just being biased and dramatic, which isn't necessarily untrue. I mean, it's my diary, but please, this is my diary. If there's anywhere I should have allowed myself to vent and just feel, it should be there. But I'm gonna try again, now because I'm at an age where I see trends, shows, and just about everything changing from how I experienced my childhood. Not to sound like a boomer or anything, it's just seeing the people around me age and really feeling the passage of time lately has just got me feeling all nostalgic and wishing I had kept a journal when I was younger. So I figure, why not start now? I am, after all, the youngest I'll ever be. As far as the kind of journal I'm going to make, I think it'll be a bit of an everything journal for the time being. If I want to write a review of a movie, vent, have a diary entry, or just jot down my thoughts on anything, I'll just kind of slap it in here. The majority of these videos will be of me just talking about whatever, maybe how it relates to what I'm journaling, or the theme I'm going for with the page, or some random thoughts and musings, but my video footage will mostly be of me just decorating my pages. Later off camera, I'll add actual journal entries and more personal content by writing on paper and taping it to the page or just leaving spaces blank so I can add stuff later. I don't want to put all of my personal photos and thoughts on the internet just because a lot of that should just be for, I think, me and the people in my life who the actual events pertain to. And also I don't want to kind of have too much overlap between the internet and my actual reality and life experiences. The journal I'm using is this A5 journal I got on Amazon. It has ADGSM paper and it's by the brand Paperage. I've never heard of this brand before, but the pages are dotted and the journal itself is reasonably priced at $9 to $11. It depends on the color. I prefer the A5 size because it's pretty travel friendly while also being big enough that I can create pretty comprehensive spreads. Smaller journals sometimes stress me out because I feel like I would be wasting space and I couldn't add everything I would want to without it being so small. I couldn't see it well enough to enjoy a really cute sticker or something like that, which is pretty goofy to kind of stress about, but that's just me. It also has this pretty standard elastic band and bookmark, and the cover itself is a nice faux leather. And while I'm on the topic of just relaying journal specs, because believe it or not, I've been researching about journaling for about 3 years now, the different kinds of journals, journaling mindsets, accessories, etc. And dude, Archer and Olive is known for being kind of the creme de la creme of journals specifically, bullet journaling specifically, but still. And their journals come with these pretty handy pen loops on their journals, right? Why are the pen loops always black and never match the actual color of the journal? I don't need a pen loop with my journal personally, but I certainly don't have anything against them, obviously. But every time I've considered buying an Archer and Olive, I look at how much the pen loop sticks out and I can't do it. I can't justify the purchase because it's expensive for genuine quality reasons, I get it, but it's too expensive to have that one annoying detail that would just taunt me every time I use it, because it's so obvious. It's so weird. I am admittedly really young, almost 22. I'm 21 right now. I mean, a week from being 22. I was a teenager in high school 3 years ago. I get it if you're thinking, what are you even going on about? But ever since 2020, my perception of time has been kind of non-existent. I was a junior in high school, and by the time people were taking off masks and the new normal was kind of established, I was a working adult who had graduated high school and was in college. I walked into the pandemic a kid and walked out as a kid who was somehow legally an adult. I mean, it's 2025. It feels like 2020 was just a month ago. I'm literally about to be 22, and it's kind of crazy because I feel like this is the first time in my life where I look back 10 years ago and I have vivid memories. When I was 10, I had vague recollections of the past, sure, but I wasn't really mentally tuned in because I was a kid, and most of the days were the same. The time and memories pass differently when you're a kid because you don't really have, like, time in your life to reflect back upon. Now I feel like I'm Finn Wolfhard in that one video where he and his co-star are talking, and he mentions One Direction or something, and she has no idea who he's talking about. If you're my age, there was a time when even if you didn't care or actively hated One Direction, you knew them, and you probably knew each one by name. I feel that way all the time when I'm talking to my younger brothers about a video game or show that was mega popular in 2015, 2016. That stuff is literally 9 to 10 years old. The Stranger Things kids and I are the same age, and now we're all adults. I mean, obviously, time passes, I've been there for my birthdays, but it still feels like a jump scare sometime. The other day I saw a Finn Wolfhard ad for a new video game system, I think, and I was just looking at him like, when did you grow up? You were just an it. And I saw Millie Bobby Brown just got married like 2 years ago. Just got married, it was 2 years ago. I think, and again, it's just like, when did you grow up? Not you guys having years-long careers when I remember watching you in middle school. It just really adds to this feeling that I'm way older than I am, but I also feel way younger. I'm out of touch with trends and what's really happening pop culturally right now. My references are dated, and I also don't have the wisdom you would expect to come with being older. I also can't fully relate to the people who are older, especially 30 plus. As far as the shows and content we watch, I have no idea what many millennials are talking about when they reference like internet stuff that was mega popular when they were, I assume, my age, or if they have a fondness for things that I haven't enjoyed for a decade now, like Minion memes and shit. And the internet itself has also given rise to just the biggest pop cultural gap, between me and even the oldest teenager and the youngest millennial. But it's also more than that. Like, the difference when it comes to me and younger and older generations is kind of a given, but it also applies to people that are my age in a way. Like, the other day I was talking to a 20-something-year-old, 23, maybe 25-year-old, who was maybe kind of getting flirty with the questions he was asking. He wasn't invasive or dangerous, just asking about my favorite places and if there was a church I recommended. His demeanor wasn't alarming, but when he started acting like that, I actually felt really uncomfortable and mentally felt like I was a teenager being hit on by an actual adult, which really sucks because there is a part of me that longs for romance and interactions of that kind, but only in my head. Like, it's a teenage fantasy that I don't actually want to interact with in real life like an adult. And it's like, even when it's like attractive guys who seem pretty cool, you know, it's like people who I have no reason to be so averse to having a romantic relationship with. I just hate being 21, almost 22, and being unable to imagine myself as an adult having adult relationships, romantic or otherwise. I think it's probably because I still live with my parents. Although there are changes from when I was a teen in high school to now having a full-time job and going to college, I still feel like the people around me see me as a kid. Adults in my life still talk to me as if I'm a kid, and I get it, no kidding. I will always be way younger than any of the adults in my life, like my parents. But I think the feeling also stems from me not having the money or chance to really have adult experiences, like going to the club, meeting new people, or doing anything in college beyond studying and stressing over tests. Even my jobs up until now feel almost like a full-time summer job that never ends. They don't make me feel like I'm an adult paying bills. So again, imagining myself as in like an adult romance is nearly impossible because I don't feel like I'm an adult, and I didn't have romantic experiences in high school to draw back upon. I am, for real, just kind of set adrift when it comes to making relationships of any kind, but especially romantically. It's just so weird again. It's 2025 and the future is now, and it sucks pretty hard. But also kind of whatever, I guess. Like, there really is only so much that's in our control. There are certainly things we can do, like vote better people into office, advocate for women's rights, try to stop the worst of Trump's bills and proposals, and really rally together to be more community-based and self-sufficient, as much as we individually can, of course, and stuff, but we can't fix the world or make the CEOs of tech brands and other conglomerates magically be good people. And I'm trying to just kind of really internalize that and not let myself mentally spiral too much, because we need to enjoy life in the little ways we can. It's all we can do. Like taking that bubble bath, eating little sweet treats, and practicing less fun self-care like eating better and getting full nights of sleep when we can, of course. I mean, personally, I work full-time and go to college online, so it really isn't easy or always possible. But even then, just mentally, I'm going to try and be better to myself and give myself the benefit of the doubt without excusing my more genuinely flawed behaviors like being immature or lazy. I am sometimes those things. I'm going to try to not beat myself up about not feeling like an adult, because logically I know that I am an adult. There's a difference between me and the teens that I see in my job or at family gatherings. In tiny imperceptible ways, I am growing up, and this is just a part of that, the growing pains that come with getting older. In that way, I'm also hoping that having this journal will help me kind of keep track of that as well. Like, a year will have passed and I will have something that documented that and made me feel like while that time was going, I was there. I'm thinking that once I've been doing this for a little while, I might make a more instructional video of the different brands and kinds of journals that are available, stationery and mind-sensitive journaling. If anybody is interested in that, let me know. That's all for this one, but before I go, again, this is going to be kind of a podcasty chat with me type channel for the time being. I want to be up front and say that I am a fandom nerd. I was deep in the Destiel trenches, I was into John Locke, knows about and unironically enjoys Omegaverse trope, fandom enjoyer. I read a shameful amount of manga and manhwa. I just wanted to let you know that before you subscribe or share and get jump scared by me being weirder than this first video might have you believe. So know that going forward. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later.